Searching for success. A client of mine, Anna Silvanale Sweat, experienced this regression in 2008. She is still enjoying the results of her work. I have asked her to tell her story, and it is as follows. After many years of feeling like I continuously sabotage my own success, quitting or leaving one position or relationship after another just as things begin to take off, I decided to try past life regression to determine if this issue carried over from another life experience. Having no prior encounters with past life regression and feeling unsure about my stance on reincarnation versus the afterlife, I attended a group session with some enthusiasm and curiosity but few expectations. When asked to state my intent for this journey in writing, I reaffirmed my determination to uncover why I always bail after a certain level of accomplishment. Relaxed and at ease, I explored a lifetime in which I was Sarah, a widowed landowner in rural 17th century England. I had 3 children, an older landowner in rural 17th century England. I had 3 children, an older son and young identical twin girls. It was clear to me that of all my children in that life I was closest to my son, who played an integral role in helping me maintain the bit of land that I had inherited after his father's death. My total focus and sole purpose for living was to maintain our independence as a family by keeping our land and all of us together. It was a hard, laborious existence, but I had been successful for many years and was proud of my accomplishment, a rare and uncanny feat for any single woman in that time period. Just as I began to feel confident that our fears of poverty and separation were truly behind us, my son died in battle. He was only 18 years old. I could see myself at his wake, there on my own property, utterly devastated by the loss. I knew that he could not have died in a war fought on foreign land if his body had been returned to me. In addition, I had the distinct sense that he had not voluntarily enlisted but that he had been coerced or forced in some way. It was the ultimate failure. I had worked so hard all those long years to hold on to our property in order to keep my children safe and with me and to provide them with a life of freedom and relative comfort. Unable to protect my son from war, I had lost not only my precious child but also my only dependable help in our pastoral endeavors. In a peculiar twist, I kept picturing this dead son in an American Civil War uniform. It made no sense to me. As I traveled further into that life, I saw that, despite the odds, I continued to work our land and save it for my daughters, one of whom married and had a family, and both of whom remained there after my death. But I was never the same, and I died feeling that the great sacrifices I made and hardships I endured had all been for naught because in the end I had failed to protect my son. After the session was over, I felt very emotional and grieved for a loss that had occurred hundreds of years ago. Looking for answers, I did some online research the following day. In my current knowledge, I didn't know of any wars fought on British soil during that lifetime, and while I am well aware of the American draft, I had no notion if a draft concept existed in England in that time. I was surprised to learn that there was a series of 3 British civil wars fought in the mid to late 1600s. This made the vision of the boy in an American Civil War uniform, the only civil war with which I was familiar, much more sensible. It was the clearest hint my mind could give me about his death. Many of the soldiers enlisted on both sides were coerced or drafted into service by county lords, noblemen, and military officers. It seems that much of service by county lords, noblemen, and military officers. It seems that much of the rural English population was neutral about the war, siding with neither Parliament nor the King. The only way for the 2 combatant parties to keep their regiments stocked was to force or manipulate able-bodied young men into their ranks. I realized instantly that my son from that lifetime had died in the British Civil Wars, and that he had indeed been conscripted against his will. Although we were freeholders, we were not a wealthy or prominent family in society. Therefore, my son was just the kind of person for whom the military would have been looking, someone who would not be overtly missed, someone whose family would have no recourse against his being drafted. Historical estimates dictate that as many as 185,000 men died during these civil wars, up to 1/4 of the male population in England at that time. In the end, I realized that the tragedy of that lifetime had continued to carry over with me through new incarnations, leaving me with a lingering sense that no matter how hard I worked or how successful I became, failure was inevitable because there are always variables that one cannot control and outcomes one cannot foresee. Sarah's devastation never left me. Knowing that this was the source of my instinct to jump ship at critical junctures, I was able to begin visualizing leaving Sarah and her family behind and meditating on my personal success in this lifetime. What's more, I was able to recognize my oldest daughter in this life as the twin girl who married and had a family. Her son in that life, my grandson, was, in fact, my son in this one. I understood then that my sons and daughters' need for my attention and approval in this lifetime stemmed from their experience with me in Sarah's life. Too grief-stricken and disillusioned, Sarah had never managed to connect with her daughters or grandchildren as she had with the son who died. Today I am working on realizing my dreams, traveling to Ireland, publishing my first novel, and enjoying a close, loving relationship with all three of my children. I am grateful for Sarah's intense work ethic, but even more so for the opportunity to relax and enjoy my accomplishments, something she never experienced. Knowing that the past was still haunting me allowed me to make a concerted effort to move beyond it, to put a face and a name to my fear of success, and to leave Sarah's grief buried in England with her son. Melanie Harrell, Melanie's client, Anna, was able to repair her grief from the old English lifetime, thus removing those blocks and freeing herself to write, to be successful, and to heal her relationships. She was also able to recognize several of the reincarnated souls from that past life, which gave her an understanding of their current fears and needs. We travel through time with many of the same souls, often reincarnating in different relationships, for example, as in Anna's case, a grandson returning as a son. Dimly remembered patterns are often brought forward and repeated in the current lifetime. Through recognition and understanding, negative relationship patterns can be repaired and improved. Anna was wise to seek out Melanie, a therapist, to explore why she struggled with feeling successful. Over the years, and especially in my psychiatry practice, I have observed so many people who feel like they are failures. They have not achieved some goal that they felt would have made them successful. Perhaps the goal was a financial one, a certain modicum of family approval, a childhood dream, or anything else that they had not attained. I have also treated many heads of businesses and organizations, actors and actresses, sports celebrities, and similar types of people whom many would consider to have it all, yet who nonetheless felt unfulfilled, dissatisfied, or sad. So much unhappiness results from subjective measures of success imposed on us by parents, communities, and cultures. We are souls, not robots. We are here to learn about love, compassion, kindness, and nonviolence. Success should be measured by these qualities. Are we becoming a more understanding and empathic person? If so, we are successful. The soul clings to such learning, because these are spiritual truths. With my clients who excelled professionally yet still felt unhappy, we worked on focusing on the core values of being a better, kinder person. At that point, their outlook began to improve. That is, after all, why they are here on earth, and why we are all here. Our purpose in life is not to be a best-selling author, or to have a financially lucrative career, or to be a star. It is to be a more loving, compassionate person. Successes can be used to further the spiritual path and to reach many people, but they are merely one possible means and not the end. The true goal is to help others, and if you make that your goal, eventually you'll become the best-selling author, or the multimillionaire, or not. It won't matter. Once you open your heart, those other things will take care of themselves. Money is not evil. It is simply a thing, just like any other thing. It can be used in wonderful and charitable ways. But we learn through relationships, not things. Upon the death of our bodies, we do not bring our possessions to the other side, that is a place of higher energy and consciousness, rather than another physical state. So we cannot bring our houses, cars, bank accounts, diamonds, titles, awards, status, or any similar marker of success. These are merely temporary. What exists forever, what we do carry with us when we move on, is a good heart. And, once gained, it can never be lost. In the next story, Brooke talks about what she carried with her into this life, a 2000-year-old fear of being alone. Soulmate. This is a part of Zindagi Ki Roshni consultancy. It has been established for those who have lost someone and for those who are very sad in their life. About 100 PDF books and 20 short audio books of this topic will be sent to those who join it. This data will be sent to their email or WhatsApp. If you want to join this organization, then please send WhatsApp message to this number.